Joe Biden has just come out and said that a recession in America is not inevitable. How do you feel about the economy?
Well, I think a recession is inevitable at some point. As to whether there is a recession in the near term, I think that is more likely than not. It certainly isn't. It's not a certainty, but it appears more likely than not. And what do you think?
I'm with you. I agree with you. I think it's more likely.
So Elon Musk thinks that recession is more likely than not, and in this video I'll explain why Tesla will double despite the recession. Now, do I think that recession is coming? Well, here's my Mint account, and I have big trouble syncing my account, so this is just for illustration purposes. This is not going to be 100% accurate, although the trend is going to be mostly accurate. So take it for what it is. I have the biggest bank in Canada. I cannot get it to sync with Mint properly, but just to give you an idea, I don't really see any indications of a recession from the businesses and income streams that I have. There's a little bit, definitely for sure a little bit, but nothing that I would worry about personally. But I'm just one guy, and just to clarify, this is just revenue, this is not profit. But this also definitely does not include everything, because Mint is just such a pain in the butt to sync everything. It just doesn't work. So at some point I just gave up. But you can see the trend roughly here. The trend is all right. And if you're wondering why I haven't made videos for the last few weeks, this is why. Just look at May, and I just had a few things to do. Let's just leave it at that. Now, one thing that is absolutely, definitely an issue is people staying at home. Elon Musk tweeted on May 26th, do you still believe we are approaching a recession? And he said again, yes, but this is actually a good thing. It has been raining money on fools for too long. Oh, I relate to this. Some bankruptcies need to happen. Also, all the COVID stay-at-home stuff has tricked people into thinking that you don't actually need to work hard. Rude awakening inbound. Now, one of the small businesses that I have, hiring people has been a little bit of an issue compared to before COVID. I literally had this one person who asked me, Matt, can I work from home? And the kind of job that that person had to do, the only way you can do it is if you work in person. I mean, you cannot touch things physically, move things physically in a room. You cannot clean a space without being in the office. It's like that kind of work. So that person asked me, Matt, I want to work from home. And I'm like, I don't think we can do that. This space will not clean itself if you stay at home. So then she said, well, maybe I can't work anymore then. And that was purely due to the government giving incentives for people to basically not work. I'm in Canada, by the way, and here you could have basically stayed at home and made $2,000 a month doing nothing. And if you made money, you lose that benefit. So I think things like that hurt the economy more than whatever supply chain issues we have and things like that. That is the bigger issue, I think. Of course, supply chains and everything, that is a very, very real thing. And when we were doing a renovation for one of our properties, we had to wait for months for things like HRV machine. That took 6 months. Washing machines, we got super lucky. We got those just before they were out of stock, and when I checked months later, they were still out of stock. We were so lucky with those. Flooring, we had to go with flooring that was not our main choice because everything else was out of stock. So these are huge issues, absolutely. And this is the greed and fear indicator. And right now, the markets are, based on this indicator, everyone's afraid and scared, which does not necessarily mean that it's the time to buy, but we all know you gotta buy when there's blood on the streets, when things are going badly, and things are certainly not going well for most companies, most people. That could be a clear indication to potentially buy, in my opinion. Although I wouldn't really count on this indicator too much. If you look at just basically last 12 months, let's say you bought over here, okay, you know what happened to some of the stocks during this time. So this is just more of a guidance of just how the market feels. I wouldn't really look too far much into this, but it's a useful tool to have. So are we in a recession? Are we heading there? I think chances are probably, but I don't think that will affect Tesla much if you are a long-term Tesla investor. If you are a short-term investor, you are screwed either way, just like Bill Gates when he shorted, I almost said screwed, but he shorted the Tesla stock somewhere around $200 per share, and now we know that the stock is basically at $700 per share. So Bill Gates, we know him as a philanthropic person, and obviously he likes donating money, losing money, investing into Tesla stock. And if you read the press and the news, all you'll see is that all the ratings for Tesla and the estimated stock price is being cut down. For example, this Japanese bank, which I'm not going to even try to pronounce these names. I don't speak Japanese. I like some Japanese shows for sure, but I'm just not going to try pronouncing those names. But they're lowering their stock prices. And if you look at why, it's because of supply-related issues such as higher battery prices and things like that. And other analysts and companies, investment banks, Morgan Stanley, Credit Suisse, they are all lowering and cutting down their target prices. Now that has to do more with interest rates than with supply chain issues. Nonetheless, everyone's target prices are coming down. And so is that really that bad of a thing? And if you look at the stock price at just 1 year chart, the stock is still up 6.37%, which is still amazing when you think about it. But when you look at the chart, okay, maybe it does not look the nicest. It has come down from a peak at one point, basically 50%. That is a big number. And yeah, roughly right now, down 40%. It may sound scary, but you gotta really think about why is this happening? And is this really that bad of a thing? So with all this going on, why do I think that Tesla will double very soon? In at least 2 years, I believe it will at least double. And really, I think in 1 year, the stock will double. But that's just my opinion. But what you really need to look at is this. This, in my opinion, is perhaps the most important thing that Tesla has going for it. And really the most important single number that you should be paying attention if you are a long-term Tesla investor. You see, if deliveries continue to go up and if Tesla continues to innovate, which is one of the main reasons, if not the main reason why I'm investing in Tesla, because I believe it's the most innovative company that you can invest into because it has the best world's engineer, the proven track record of pulling off impossible things over and over again, and the most biggest important project that engineer is working on is full self-driving, and it has never been solved before. So who would I bet on to solve an impossible to solve problem? Someone who did it multiple times, Elon Musk. So the only thing that, in my opinion, we really need to pay attention, as long as the company is not losing money hand over fist, is deliveries, yearly deliveries. Okay, let's say we go into a recession. Let's say it's bad, it's horrible, there's blood on the streets. Deliveries will still continue to grow. So in 2 years, I believe Tesla will at least double minimum their deliveries from where we are right now. Now, second quarter is going to stink. We know that. Overall, it's still going to be better going forward than we look at, let's say, 2020, 2019, 2017. One thing is consistent. Deliveries are going up. So what the stock price is doing, I think, does not really matter. You see, during recessions, the companies that benefit the most are the biggest companies. It's either companies that have the biggest market share, and in industries where you need to spend a lot of money, it's very difficult to enter such a market during a recession because no one will want to give you money. You're trying to raise money, you're going to hear no, 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 no. Remember what Elon Musk said about 2008 when he was trying to raise money for Tesla? He said people would even be mad at him that he even dared to ask for money to invest into his company or for a loan. Same thing is going to happen. So all these EV startups that we are seeing, tens of them, hundreds of them perhaps, they are not going to stick around. Many of them are just going to flat out disappear because raising money for these companies is going to be next to impossible when the recession starts. So what does that do for Tesla? That means the biggest players in the industry, and for electric vehicles, clearly the number one, there's no arguing about that, is Tesla. So it benefits the biggest ones. Now, in industries where you don't have such high cost of capital, recessions are often then you have new companies that start. And if you look at many successful companies that were started, many of them were started during a recession. Me, actually, I started during a recession, 2008, 2007. The whole world seemed to come to an end, and I was like, I need to figure out a new way of doing things. My whole family had to. We were really affected by the recession, so everything had to be reworked, and that's from where the growth came from. So that's why I believe recession is extremely helpful to Tesla, actually. And I think it's good for the economy too, because you see some stupid companies spending money on stupid things. Like you see some crypto projects that you can literally copy and paste code from template from literally templates, and then people raise tens of millions of dollars for those projects. What? All that's gonna go away. So that money has to go somewhere eventually. Now, some of it's going to go to stocks, to good companies. A lot of it won't. Now, real estate is something that I'm a little bit more worried about because of higher interest rates, and there's likely to be inflation. And where I have my real estate assets, I'm a little bit concerned about those. And right now, I've been looking into this $3 million property for investment. And you know what? I've been thinking about maybe not right now. And I chose to wait. And the property hasn't sold yet, so I think so far it's working out great because they don't want to negotiate much, and I'll just wait for another 6 months, and then I'll come back to them, and I'm gonna ask them, well, do you want to sell? There's a recession. It's only gonna get worse. And I would like a nice 40% discount on that property. Now will I get it? I don't know. I really don't know. I think real estate prices are easier to anticipate and guess and project than stocks. With stocks, S&P 500, or any stocks really, I don't think you want to time the market at all. I mean, if anyone could do that, or if many people could do it, let's say 50,000 people on the whole planet are smart enough to do it consistently over and over and over and over and over again. Okay, just 50,000 people. there would be 50 more thousand billionaires in this world. How many billionaires do we have in this world? We don't even have 10,000. Not even. It's a tiny number. And if you can regularly guess what the market is going to do, you can leverage your position so much that you will want to make just 20% returns. You will make 100% returns, 200% returns, and you just get 30% returns consistently. Everyone is going to want to invest with you. So you can then raise infinite amount of money, basically. So timing the market, I really just forget about it. Just forget about timing a recession. Just be prepared if you need to. I'm very careful with how I do everything. Even if my Tesla stock is going to go down to zero, so what? I'm going to be fine. You saw the revenue earlier, right? So Tesla stock is the only stock that I invest because I think Tesla will be the first one to solve full self-driving, and that's going to 10x the stock, at least, I think, in my opinion. So that's why I'm so bullish on it. And also, I'm only 26 years old. I'm going to be 27 very soon. So there's plenty of time to recover if anything bad happens. So just because I'm all in, I mean, I have other assets, private assets, other than stocks, and the only stock I have that's publicly traded is Tesla. But I have other things on the side. But this is why I believe Tesla is going to totally crush it, and recession is actually only going to help it long term, because that will eliminate a lot of competition. Guess what? People will buy less cars, and most of those are going to be ICE vehicles, internal combustion engine vehicles, and that will squeeze already low profits of all of the automakers. Tesla already has pretty high profits, and Tesla can also raise money at any time if it needs to. It's going to be very difficult for any other company to catch up with Tesla for a very, very long time, especially with how they pursue full self-driving. No one else is pursuing a purely vision approach. So unless Elon is completely, totally wrong about vision, which I really don't think he is wrong about that, Tesla is going to be at least 5 years ahead of any other full self-driving solution. That's what I think. I'm going to make a video about that as well. So overall, for the upcoming recession, I believe that will only benefit Tesla long term, because there's going to be less competitors. All of them are going to get squeezed. Tesla has such insane backlog of orders already, and everyone else is struggling with their production in the first place, which is only going to get harder because they're just simply not profitable. It's one thing when you have a factory that's already making money, and it's another thing when you have zero factories and you have to build them during a recession. But no one wants to give you money to build it. Just think about that. So, what will Tesla stock price is going to do during the recession? I don't know. Probably is going to go down. Maybe, maybe not. I think it's actually a buying opportunity.
Billionaire investor Ron Barron early this morning, and he has a message. He wrote an email to Joe and I in which he writes, "This is a huge once-in-a-generation buying opportunity. Huge, monstrous opportunity following June 2022, June 2020 as well crash." He told us about how he was talking to his sons who've been in the investment business for about 20 years now, and he suggests that they now have the same opportunity he had when he founded Barron Capital back on March 16th of 1982. That's when the Dow Jones Industrial Average was at 880. Yes, we're crying today about it falling below 30,000 for the first time since January of 2021.
In case have something like a Tesla, I told you a long time ago that I thought that we would make 20 times our money in Tesla. So far, we've made 4 times. I now think we're going to make double or triple again over the next 5 years, and double or triple again over the next 5 years. I think there's 10 times more to go in Tesla before I have to even think about this, if we're right.
So Ron Barron said, basically in June of 2020, which is when the stock was around $200, that there's at least 10 more times for the stock to go up. 10 times more. That was 2 years ago. The stock was nowhere near 10 times where it was back then, but it's up a lot. So, and Ron thinks right now is the time to buy. If you are a long-term investor and if Tesla stock goes down, that's just a discount that you are getting. So I am very happy when the stock is not going up because I'm not investing in it for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, not even 5 years, 10 years minimum, or really 2030. So that's 8 years. Okay, 8 years minimum is what my timeline is. Until then, a stock can tank, at least for me. And most of you are probably long-term investors as well. So that's probably at least 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. I think if you are investing for 5 years or longer, I think you want to buy. And you want to hope and pray that the stock goes down because when you buy more, you're buying at a discount, which is what I'm hoping for. Because the fundamentals, this is what I want. I want the deliveries to keep going up at 50% a year. I want the stock price to keep going down. As long as the deliveries are going up, I am very happy. Now, if we have a problem with deliveries slowing down, I would be concerned. If there was a clear trend that it will be slowing down in the long term, I would have to think about it a little bit more. But right now, I'm not seeing that. So what I want, stock down, deliveries up. As long as I see that, I'm very happy because I know profits will follow. Even if deliveries are not going to be very profitable, which, surprise, surprise, they are. Who would have thought about that? I'm happy. So, recession, Tesla, good. My name is Matt Potius. The only stock that I own is Tesla. That is publicly traded, that you can buy on a stock exchange. I own other things, of course. But I believe in Tesla so much. So subscribe to this channel if you haven't yet. I'm going to be trying to make a few more videos here and there, and maybe even every day. I'll subscribe for daily updates. Unless something comes up that really requires my attention in other ventures that I have, I'm going to be making a lot more of those videos because I also want to move. Like with the market the way it is with Tesla stock right now, I am at this point, I'm seriously considering touching some of the assets that I thought that I would never want to touch and just putting them into Tesla. So I'm really thinking the price is tempting. The price is tempting. And I made my brother invest way over $100,000 into Tesla when it dropped down to these levels that we are seeing at right now, like $734 per share. That is such a bargain. Wow. Buy more. At least I'm buying more. That's what I'm telling myself. Buy more. But 5 years from now, 10 years from now, we're going to look back on this. I think, and this is just my opinion, so if you buy based on my opinion and you go broke, only blame yourself. But this is what I'm doing. If you're gonna go broke, I'm gonna go broke with you, with my stock. I think, this is what I think. I think when you look 10 years back, we're gonna see a chart that will look very similar to what we see for the last 10 years. That's just my feeling. That's what I think. So, looking at this, like, would you be upset that you bought stock right here, February 14th, 2020, then it went down quite a bit? So it was, what, 200 per share, basically? And then it dropped in half. Like, would you be mad if you bought stock right here? And then it went up from 200 to basically 700 in 2 years? Would you be mad? I know I would not. Why? let's just say, but I tried to buy as much as I can. That's all I'm gonna say. So that's all for today. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel. I'm gonna be talking about batteries also, and I'm gonna be uploading videos about full self-driving, a lot of those. I'm gonna be driving with my Tesla as well. I'm gonna also be reviewing. If you are a Tesla investor and if you don't have a Tesla vehicle, I think you should. I think you should. And if you don't have one, then at least watch my video. I'm going to review the things that I hate about it, things that I love about it, things that my wife hates about it, things that my wife loves about it. Spoiler alert, it's my wife's favorite car. And I think it's like that car. That Model 3 all-wheel drive is better than some of the exotic cars. Or better than many of them, actually. That is if you don't really want to show off, but you want everything that those fancy cars have, but just better. That's basically the car for you, man. All right, enough said. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.